Hello, and welcome to Seeking Ishvara. I wanted to talk a little bit more today on the mind. Number one, I'm going to, reiterate some of those things. So, the mind, for most people, is what controls most of humanity in our day-to-day lives. And the first part of this is Peanut. The first part of really gaining back control of your mind is to become aware of it, to become aware of those thoughts, to become aware of when you're not present. So let's just do a little exercise real quick. So just find a comfortable standing, seated position. Get really grounded. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. And call your mind from wherever it is, whether it's on work that happened yesterday or will happen in a little bit, or it's on your family. Can you call it back into where you physically are? Can you call your mental body back to where your physical body is? And merge them together. If you're struggling to do this, that's okay. It is a practice. And it will always be a practice. So I encourage you to, whenever you're feeling very frustrated, whenever you have like those thoughts, the thoughts that are taking you out of where you are right now, where your body is right now, take a moment, just take a deep breath, and come back into your body. And the more that you can do that, especially in a state of stress, the more you can start to gain back control. Because where does stress come from? A part of my journey of regaining control of my mind was to address the stress that I had in my life. I had a lot of stress from my past. I had a lot of stress from my job. And this is why I talked about control in the previous video that I posted last week, because we also stress about things that we can't control. So if you really start to discern what it is that you can't control, and then let that control of other people go, and start to pay attention to how your mind is responding to certain events, start to pay attention to the emotional reaction that you're experiencing when certain events happen to you, and then also start to pay attention to where in your past created those emotional patterns. Awareness is good. So if you start to pay attention to all of that, you start to become aware of those patterns. And again, I'll keep saying that humans are very repetitious. We like to do the same things. And our bodies are neurologically wired to support that. We like to be good at things. We like to stay in the comfort zone. But paying attention to your mind and starting to just really notice. Because when you start noticing, like, what does that mental talk to yourself? What does that mental conversation look like? How often do you beat yourself up? Can be quite a lot. Can be a lot. Especially if you had an experience that you didn't like happen in your life, which I feel like is pretty much everyone. So once you start to notice the mental chatter, and then this is so start to notice it, and then the crazy thing happens next. You can control that. You can control that narrative. You can choose to say, I think my body is ugly. Or you can choose to say, I think my body is beautiful. You can choose to go, the trauma that happened in my life really sucked. Or you can choose to say, if I didn't have that trauma, and this is for me personally, I would not have met my husband. I would not have gone into this energy work field that I'm doing. I have no idea where my life would be if I didn't have the trauma that I had. And no matter what happens in your life, it is the universe trying to teach you something. You might not understand what that something is, but it is trying to teach you something. It's trying to teach you to be stronger. It's trying to teach you to make different choices from what maybe your parents did in the past, or what generations of people in your family have done. And it's up to you to control that narrative. You choose how you perceive the world and how you choose how to perceive how the events that happen to you in your life, what their purpose truly is. It takes a lot of guts. It's definitely a mental switch to move from victimization to something better, to something beyond. And it's definitely hard to change the narrative in the mental landscape, but it is possible. You know, I started this journey back in 2020 was when I first started taking time for myself, and 2022 is when I got my first and second degree Reiki practitioner certification, and really started becoming aware of my mind, but I was completely taken over by it. Because my body, my experience that I kept recreating, my past experience, I let my mind think that my physical environment was never safe. And so I never wanted to be mentally here. But I recognized those patterns and where they came from. And I asked myself, do I want to let those past experiences, those bad past experiences, continue to manipulate my life now when I'm in a completely different situation? And the answer was no. And here I am. So start to notice, friends. Start to become aware. And know that you can change whatever is going on in your head. And when you choose to change, then when the mental reality changes, the physical reality, your body, what's being drawn to you, will also start to change. Because the universe doesn't speak in terms of words. It speaks in vibration of what you're putting out. Have fun thinking about that.